brother found out and we got into a fight at the hospital. My mom said, a defect? What kind of necklace has electricity in it? I said, it was like a smart jewelry thing. I don't know, it was supposed to be safe. She didn't look like she believed me, but she didn't push it. She said, is Jess okay? I said, I think so. They wouldn't let me see her. My mom said, well, you should call her tomorrow and apologize. I said, the police told me not to contact her. My mom's face changed. The police were involved? I said, they were at the hospital because of the fight. They took statements. My mom said, are you in trouble? I said, I don't know yet. She looked at me for a long time. Then she said, you can stay here as long as you need to, but tomorrow you need to tell me the whole story. I went up to my old room, lay down on the twin bed, stared at the ceiling. My phone kept buzzing, messages from people I barely knew. Dude, is this you on Reddit? Are you the shock collar guy? What the is wrong with you? I turned my phone off. The next morning, my dad came into my room at like 7. He's an early riser, used to be a high school principal before he retired. Very no-nonsense guy. He sat on the edge of my bed and said, your mother told me you got in a fight. You gonna tell me what this is really about? I sat up. My ribs hurt. My eye was still swollen. I said, it's complicated. He said, uncomplicated. So I told him, more than I told my mom. Not everything, but enough. The relationship problems with Jess, the course, the behavioral conditioning, the necklace. My dad listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then he said, you shocked her. I said, the device malfunctioned. He said, did she know it could shock her? I said, no. He said, so you put something on her body without telling her what it was and then used it to hurt her. I said, I wasn't trying to hurt her. He said, Mika, but you did. I didn't say anything. He said, do you understand what you did? I said, I made a mistake. I thought I was helping the relationship. He stood up, looked at me like he didn't recognize me. He said, you treated a human being like an animal. Your girlfriend, someone who trusted you. I said, everyone responds to behavioral conditioning. It's just psychology. He said, it's not psychology, it's abuse. And if you can't see that, you've got bigger problems than a black eye. He left. I heard him and my mom talking downstairs. Couldn't make out the words, but I could hear the tone. They were arguing about me. I turned my phone back on. More messages, but also one from a number I didn't recognize. This is Claire, Jess's friend. Don't respond to this. I'm just telling you that Jess is filing for a restraining order on Monday. Stay away from her. If you actually care about her at all, leave her alone. A restraining order. That meant it was going on my record. Potential employers would see it. Anyone who Googled me would see it. I Googled myself. The Reddit post was already the third result. My LinkedIn was the first result. My company website was second, and then Shock Collar Guy Hospital was third. I started reading the Reddit comments. Someone had figured out which hospital based on details in the post. Someone else claimed to have been in the waiting room and confirmed the story. They said I'd been screaming that it was just science while covered in piss. I hadn't been screaming, but that's what people were saying. Another comment, I know this guy. He works at
data firm downtown. Someone should report this to his employer. My blood went cold. Data firm is where I work. Small software company, maybe 30 employees. Very tight knit. Everyone knows everyone. I checked my work email on my phone. 3 emails from HR asking me to call as soon as possible. It was Saturday. HR was emailing me on a Saturday. I called the number. It went to voicemail. Left a message saying I'd seen the emails and I'd call back Monday. Spent the rest of the weekend in my room. My mom brought me food. My dad didn't talk to me. I kept checking Reddit. The post had over 2,000 upvotes now.